Good morning, everybody. It's Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe Show, the home of Epic Conversations, and I'm the host of Epic Conversations 2020, Best Podcast News Award winner, 2018 Innovation Award winner, given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. I also co-host and co-produce the only online show in the world for dads and fathers that's sponsored by Dove Men Plus Care. And since 2020, our team has reached out directly and indirectly to over 300,000 dads and fathers and male caregivers around the world. I always like saying that, making a positive difference with dads and fathers around the world and male caregivers. So that is amazing. Also, you can catch replays of this conversation, other ones that I host on Indie Soup Media TV. There's a website address, and that is an independent content creators online or OTT network that is driven by Dr. Tachi out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And we're always happy to be sharing with her and her sharing with us. So you can get replays of that and other great content on that platform. So it is, just a FYI, Ryan is not with us this morning. He called me last night. He has something to attend to. But he'll be with us on Friday. So let's do some housekeeping. Please subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and hit the notification button. Also, follow Dr. Vibe. This is me, Dr. Vibe, on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram to advertise your business, product, or service on any of the platforms that I'm a part of. Please feel free to email me, dr.vibe@vibeshow.com. Also, join the Morning Vibe Discord group where we continue the conversation offline. Program alert, a special edition of the Morning Vibe coming out on June 21st. Black Belt Conversations with Wayne Harris and Ray McMillan. So if you've ever seen either one of them on this platform, individually, they blow things up. Together, they're going to blow up the universe. So it's going to be incredible. I've been told not to talk what they're chatting about. So I'm under manners. Can't say a thing. So make sure you check it out.
And that's what I feel like. You feel like you're the Harriet Tubman of the mind.
I am.
I feel like I'm I'm one of the Harriet Tubmans of intelligent Black people. Like, I want to liberate y'all from like being left behind and ignored and oblivion. No, really, the rappers get all the attention. Seriously, does anybody else feel this way? Like ignorant Black people, they'll be all up, getting all the headlines on the Shade Room.
Overly sexualized Black folks.
Over like the twerkers and the just people that don't always represent the best of us. The diversity. Like people like Dr. Vibe. Like everybody should know about people like Dr. Vibe. Dr.
Really
Vibe he's trying to do good work for Black people. Dr. Vibe from Toronto. Good to see you, my brother. Dr. Vibe. Everybody follow Dr. Vibe. He has a great show. He's very good at what he does, and I have a lot of respect for him. The men who are also doing the same thing. I see Dr. Vibe in here. He's a great brother. Everybody should follow Dr. Vibe, by the way. He's a smart brother in Canada, and we need to follow smart people. So follow Dr. Vibe if you see him in the chat. And Dr. Vibe, say your name in the chat so people can see you. I want you to click on his name, and I want you to go follow him, please, because I want these men and women that are doing the right things to get the support they deserve. Hey, Dr. Vibe, how you doing, brother? Again, like I always do, I got to say everybody should go follow Dr. Vibe. He's got a great show. Dr. Vibe, I know Dr. Vibe's got a kingdom because I see your channel. I see you pouring into that every day. Everybody should follow Dr. Vibe, by the way. Look him up, Dr. Vibe, V-I-B-E. He's a great friend of me and my wife, and I love this guy.
Okay, so let me hop into this. What's up, Dr. Vibe? How you doing? Everybody, if you see Dr. Vibe in the chat, everybody go follow the Dr. Vibe show. Dr. Vibe is a real smart brother and a good human being. I like the guy a lot, and he's very intelligent. And I think everyone should pay attention to what he's got going on. We got to shine the spotlight on the intelligent Black people out here that are really doing the good work. Don't just pay attention to the rappers and the celebrities. A lot of these people are losers. Your true winners are your people in your community that are really having your back. Helping us to have stronger families and a stronger community. So Dr. Vibe is in that category. So you might see the Dr. Vibe show in this chat. If you see him, please go follow him. Okay. All right. So anyway,
let's do a review of part one.
Yeah. So here's the thing, and it's going to happen to us too, right? How to not lose your health when you go on vacation. As we're entering into the summer months, sometimes we think about, I'm going on vacation, so I am going to, that's the time I'm going to get off track and have the all-inclusive resort, lots of alcohol. I'm going to eat at my favorite restaurants, or, these are the times that I'm going to choose dessert. But you come back and you feel like garbage. You come back and you have all this weight to lose. And And it's like, you're not on the beach anymore. Now you're back in the office, and yeah, maybe you have a tan, but your clothes don't fit good. And you feel like you need a vacation from your vacation. And so I really believe that we should not use our vacation times to get way off. Sure, you're going to have a few treats here or there, but I want to change your mindset. So when you go on vacation, number one, I just shared, get active. Make sure that there's a gym in your resort and use it. And if there's no gym when you're staying, maybe you've just rented a cottage or something, go for walks every morning. Make activity part of your vacation. Don't just go there to lay on the beach. Definitely get active so that, you know, and even if you're planning your excursions, you know, maybe you're going to go for a hike on one of the trails, or maybe you're going to get on a dirt bike, but be safe. So, you know, or you're going to go swimming with the dolphins or something. Do things that require physical activity. So that's number one and very important. Planning is huge. Find out if you have a special diet. Maybe you're on Carolyn's New Start plan and she's asking you to stay plant-based and gluten-free. Find out where the restaurants are in the area. Get the Happy Cow app or something where you can find out where there are some healthy restaurants. For sure, maybe you are going to have a steak, but just don't do it every day. So find out what's available at the resorts. And you know what? All-inclusives are great in the sense that they always have big salad buffets, big fruit buffets. And just because, which brings us, so planning is number two. And number three, be mindful of all-inclusives. Think about your all-inclusives like, yes, I can eat as much salad as I want to. I can, you know, have a good amount of fruits or whatever, but it doesn't mean you have to eat your weight in alcohol, like, or consume, you know, just because you're paying for an all-inclusive. I pay for all-inclusives all the time, and I don't drink at all zero. My family doesn't drink at all zero. And I don't feel like I'm being cheated that, oh, well, I've paid this $80 a day all-inclusive and all I'm eating is rabbit food. I just add that to the cost of the trip and to the experience. I don't need to drink, and you might want to drink and that's fine. But when you're drinking all day long, every day of your vacation, this is like major liver problems. I can't tell you how many people I have to help them with their gallbladder or help them with their liver when they get back from the vacation. It's just so silly, and it's not necessary. So all-inclusive doesn't necessarily mean that you have to binge on desserts, binge on alcohol, binge on the salad bar, binge on the beans, binging really shouldn't be a part of anything, but try the non-alcoholic pina colada. You know, it doesn't have to always be the alcoholic drinks. So those were the main 3 points that we talked about. I know a lot of questions came up through that, but you know, that's just very important that we go into our vacation with a different mindset. And maybe you go on vacation and you binge on the all-inclusive and you only sit on the beach and you're not active and you feel fine when you get back. Well, hats off to you but that's just not the norm. Most people don't feel good when they get back from vacation. But how awesome when you get back from vacation and you've lost a few pounds. You look better than you left. You feel so good. It's just like that to me, that's vacationing.
All right. Okay. Well, thanks for the recap. Anyone who's watching live, especially questions, comments. So let's kick off to number 4. Plus, I got a myriad of questions. So go for it.
Okay. So hydration is really key. And that also brings me back. And I'm sorry if I'm sounding like, you know, a hammer on the alcohol thing, but we really don't realize that 2 ounces of alcohol once a week sets the liver back for days. So I'm really against, you know, the consumption of alcohol. If that's something you're choosing to do, just be mindful that alcohol and caffeine are super dehydrating. And then most likely, because you're not a Carolyn, I'm happy to vacation to somewhere snowy in the winter because I love snow. But most likely you're vacationing to a hot spot. So you're going to lose a lot of water because number one, you might be in a chlorinated pool that dehydrates you. You've got the sun. You may be consuming alcohol. You may be consuming caffeine. So really make sure you are hydrating yourself, lots and lots of water. And of course, you're in a different country, you're going to want bottled water. But hydration is important. Keep that in your mind, because when you go through dehydration, yeah, that's not fun.
Bottled water.
Here we go.
Yeah, see, you're drinking your water from a glass. I'm drinking my water from my glass.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard concerns about bottled water. Talk to me.
Yeah, so here's the thing about water. Bottled water, reverse osmosis, alkaline water, distilled water, and filtered water, just with your Brita or your fridge filter, and tap water. So these are the main categories of water. And let me just try to make it clear. So our tap water is regulated, right? So much regulations on our tap water. We actually in North America have the cleanest tap water than almost anywhere in the world. So is it full of chlorine? Absolutely. Is it the same water that goes through your toilet that comes through your tap? Yes, and totally treated. So if you measure the particles in tap water, you're getting about 175 particles. There's too much stuff in there to drink. I don't drink tap water. So if you put a reverse osmosis filter on there, then your particles will go down anywhere from 7 to 14. That's a much cleaner water, and chlorine has come out of it. If you're using a Brita filter, you're going to bring your particles, or a fridge filter, you probably bring your particles down to maybe 90 or 120. Is there still chlorine in there? Yes, because it doesn't really get it fully out. If you boil the water, you're killing some of the bacteria in there. You're still going to be around the 120 mark. Is it better than tap water? Yes. Now, if you're going to get alkaline water, be very careful. Alkaline water is sometimes just spring water made alkaline with sodium bicarbonate. Dangerous for the body. I don't endorse the use of alkaline water unless it's from a real pure spring place, but man-made alkaline water is not the best choice. It's expensive and unnecessary. Your diet should be alkaline. Your water should just be clean. Now let's go to bottled water. If you are buying bottled spring water, Aquafina, Dasani, that's a bottled reverse osmosis water, generally about 14 to 20 particles. But if you're buying spring water, test the particles. It's over 200. There's no regulation on spring water. Your tap water is cleaner than your bottled spring water. We just mentally think that it's cleaner. But we are wasting so much money, giving Coca-Cola and Pepsi so much of our money with all of this spring water. It is garbage. There is no regulation on it. They just have to prove that they found a spring. The spring is tested. And from there, there's no further regulation. It's terrible. It's a waste of money. It's an absolute gimmick. And yes, tap water is better. I measure it. I have this little measuring thing that I got from Choice Water, and they are the best place to get a reverse osmosis filter in Toronto. They're the least expensive and the best company to work with. But my reverse osmosis that I have in my house has anywhere from 4 to 7 particles. Spring water is over 200. Tap water is usually about 175 to maybe 190. Yeah.
Cassandra London says, what's the best water to buy and where? So I think you already covered it, but where can people buy, in your opinion, what's in your opinion, bottled water, best water?
So the best bottled water is Aquafina or Dasani. And the reason is because it's clean, it's filtered by reverse osmosis. Now, because it's a big company and mass manufactured, their filters aren't as clean as if you were getting that at home. So I've tested Dasani and I've tested Aquafina, and they're both around 14 to 20 particles. My water at home that's reverse osmosis and what we use at the store is like 4 to maximum 7 particles. So it's still better. Yes, they've taken tap water and filtered it. So there's a lot of, Dasani and Aquafina is just tap water, but it's cleaned through reverse osmosis, which usually puts it through about 4 carbon filters, sometimes 5.
Good stuff. So Serena Wills asks, so what do we do on vacation? Buy a portable filter or something?
So that's a great question. Now, when you're on vacation and you get bottled spring water, it's going to be better to drink that than the tap water in that country, because you don't know the regulation of the tap water in that country. And so now you're drinking tap water from your country, if that makes sense. So it's okay if you're in Dominican or Mexico. I don't recommend you drink their tap water. It could make you sick because of the bacteria and stuff that they may not filter out. So go ahead and buy spring water if you can't get reverse osmosis from that country, because that's just like drinking tap water from your country.
Excellent.
I'm
Fantastic.
repetitive.
That's all right. It's okay. It's all good. It's all good. Okay, what's number 5?
Okay, so number 5, which I like, and you might call me crazy, is to pack your essentials. So usually when I go on vacation, we'll usually get a place. I mean, I've got a family of 5. That's a lot of restaurant bills. Like, you know, so if it's not an all-inclusive, and even if it is an all-inclusive, I pack my essentials. I take my raw nuts and seeds, because that can keep in my suitcase. I take our gluten-free granola for the family. I'll even take a couple loaves of bread. When I get there, you know, I'll hit a grocery store, I'll buy some fruits. So again, if it's an all-inclusive, then they have some of your fruits and vegetables and you don't need it. But I still pack my essentials. I have been known to bring my own salad dressing because I don't want the vinegars. So whatever your essentials are, whether that's gluten-free crackers or, you know, the healthier bread or the nuts and seeds, or, you know, healthier breakfast items. But I'll even take the Tetra Packs of the almond milk, because they don't need to be refrigerated until they're open. If I don't think I'm going to get anything on that side, and if you've got checked luggage, you can put liquids in there. So definitely pack your essentials. So when you go there, you're not always relying for breakfast, lunch, and dinner to have to pay for meals, number 1. And number 2, to have to be subject to whatever they have only at the resort as your options if you're trying to eat a little cleaner.
But here's a question now. How should you not know ahead of time what you can carry into a country too?
So what I would generally, when you're crossing the border, you can't bring your fruits and you can't bring your vegetables. So that's not allowed because of the pesticide regulations. So you can only pretty much bring dried goods. And if you only have carry-on and not checked luggage, you can't bring any liquids. But, you know, there's, like I said, whether it's your bread or your breakfast cereal or your nuts and seeds, those are all dry goods. And those are the staples, because if I'm going to a restaurant, I'm a completely plant-based eater. If I go to a restaurant and there's no plant-based options for me, like, you know, as far as a protein dish, because that happens in a lot of countries. I went to Puerto Rico, like not a vegetable on the island. It was wild. We went to Kauai and it was like, it was so hard to find a restaurant that was going to provide any kind of vegan meal. It was so much seafood. So we had our nuts. We'd bring our nuts with us. I'd have our gluten-free bread. And we, you know, if they have a salad, we'd order a salad. We did a lot of stuff on our own. But sometimes we'd go a place that would have a salad, but no vegan protein option that, you know, I'm not into veggie burgers. That is something I would be happy with. So we would just throw a handful of nuts on our salad. So you know, it's things like that, or just make your own breakfast in your room. Even if it's a hotel, they have a mini fridge, so you can have your granola. You could, which brings me to my next point, number 6, is hit the grocery store. Even if you're in a hotel, don't depend on every meal out. You can have a healthy breakfast in your room with just some fruits, your granola, or a gluten-free bread, or a handful of nuts after your fruit. don't depend on and make it like every single meal has to be takeout. I mean, you know, they're going to be cooking with oils and, you know, all the wrong ingredients. Save that for here and there, but don't do that for every meal out. Any
This is
thoughts?
good.
Questions?
I got a pile of questions.
Okay, good. Tell me.
So, first things up, what are some fun ways to stay active on vacation, especially if gym facilities aren't available?
That's a really good question. So if you're by a beach, running or power walking in the sand is so amazing. Because that works your leg muscles more than you can imagine. So definitely do some walking or running. So running on the pavement's so hard on the joints, but running on the sand, I mean, in 10 minutes, you would have done a workout that would have been 20 or 30 minutes should you just be doing it regular on the pavement. So definitely, if there's a beach, hit the sand. Another thing is, as long as you're not afraid of the water and there are life jackets, almost every, if you're by the water, get a canoe, get a kayak. My husband and I just had our 25th anniversary celebration. Yay, we made it. Quarter of a century married.
Congratulations. I guess we
Thank
have to do a monthly on secrets of nutritional love.
Yeah, that's a whole book, because I'm definitely happily married and wouldn't trade my husband for the world. But that would have been a different song 10 years ago. So we really fought for our marriage together, but that's another story for another time. But for our 25th anniversary, you know, instead of just, you know, we could have gone anywhere. We decided to hit a small cottage and go kayaking all day. And wow, it was just so great that, you know, it was great to be paddling all day, being active. So kayaking, canoeing, paddleboarding, you don't have to be an expert, just wear a life jacket. So, you know, if you spill over, it's okay. You're safe. But paddling is really great. And most people definitely, don't always take those options. Sailing, well, you're sitting in a boat, and, you know, you can go on a catamaran, and that's wonderful, but jump in the water, swim if you can, or grab the boat. So that's great. And if you like historical things, even just being able to walk around the city, like go through the villages, walk through the cities, go on tours of, learning the history of it, but make it walking. If you are going to go golfing, ditch the golf cart and walk from hole to hole if that's what you want to do. Yeah.
All right. Ryan says 25 years is such an impressive milestone. Congratulations. Serena Will says happy 25th anniversary.
Thank you.
Let me ask another conversation piece. Come with questions today. How can people ensure they're getting essential nutrients while enjoying vacation meals?
Yeah. Wow. I'm telling you.
Whoa!
Today. Yeah, you're my new Ryan. I love it.
Geez. There's only one Oxtail King. Sorry. There we go.
Dr. Vibe, that's a great question. So keep in mind a couple things. That sugar robs the body of nutrients. So if you're planning to have because you're on vacation, you want to do a dessert every day, that it's really going to deplete you of nutrients. So literally try to pick your dessert days. Don't have sugar every day. And actually that's a good question, because that brings us to my last point, which is number 7. Okay. And that is meal planning. It is important that we do some form of meal planning. And this is what I recommend for the essential nutrients. Fresh is best. So before you go into that dinner, even if that's going to be, your fancy steak or your shrimp, I mean, whether you want to be plant-based or eat, have a salad first. If you have that raw salad, you will get all the live nutrients. You will get lots of, healthy fibers. So always try to go with a salad first. Definitely, I've been to some countries that they're just like salad's not an option. Some hot countries just don't grow lettuce. So, you know, there's still some options at the grocery store if you're going to make your own, but most people can get a salad almost anywhere that they go. So definitely have a salad before your meal. Don't finish every meal with dessert, and be mindful again of the alcohol because of the damage it does to the liver. You lose nutrients in the process, and the body has an inability to actually package your nutrients up and send them to the right place. So you really compromise your liver if you're also having a glass of wine with every single meal. Like, you lose nutrients from that meal. When you look at your meal, always try to get like some sort of green or orange vegetable, like cooked, you know, like a side of broccoli or a side of spinach. But be mindful, if they're going to be like filling your spinach with butter and all sorts of oils, then that's not a healthy option. And then, as I said, fresh is best. So start your morning with, you know, a bowl of fruit, and look for the darker colors. Like, you're in another country, so go towards fruits that you haven't seen, but also remember that darker colors mean higher antioxidants usually. So where in Canada, I would say go for the berries, maybe you're somewhere where go for the dragon fruit, or, you know, go for the jackfruit. Just go for things that are a little bit different. You'll get a wide variety of nutrients that you hadn't had before. And here's the key, friends. We don't always have to have these big dinners. Try to do better meal planning so that your main course comes at like lunchtime. Maybe you just do some fruits and nuts in your room. And then instead of planning dinners, try to plan lunches. And in the evenings, go for walks on the beach with, maybe you have an apple for dinner. We don't always have to have dinners out, and make everything, you know, rotate around dinner. So that meal planning is very important. And again, you're going to have a few dinners out, but try to pick earlier times to eat, not late dinners, and avoid keeping snacks in your room, or you will go through those bags of chips and popcorn every single night, and then you won't feel good in the morning.
Okay, good stuff. Serena Will says we need a show on food, nutrition, and relationships. Oh,
isn't that real?
Okay, so we'll take that one and parking lot that. I think that's a really good conversation topic.
Yes.
Okay, questions. Wayne Harris says, what's the downside of reverse osmosis water?
I love these questions.
They're coming. They're coming.
So the downside of reverse osmosis water is that it's depleted of minerals. So it's not distilled water. Distilled water has nothing. It's dead water. So it's depleted of minerals, most of the minerals. But here's the thing. I'm not depleted of minerals in my diet, and I've been drinking reverse osmosis water for almost 20 years. And that's like 90% of the water that I drink, because my food is full of minerals. So I'm not worried about that. So if you're eating a nutrient-dense diet, you don't have to worry about your reverse osmosis water or your distilled water not having enough nutrients in it. But if you don't eat a nutrient-dense diet, then you will not get some of the essential minerals that is found in the water, the electrolytes, the salts that we get from our tap water, even spring water, because it's depleted. So that's one downside if you're not eating well. The other downside is that there's a cost to it. So I could take the water out of my tap and it's pretty much free, and just boil it or use a Brita, not so expensive, but you do have to change the filters on a reverse osmosis water. If you're a home user, maybe once a year. At the store, we change it like 3 times a year. And every time you change it, it's going to be like maybe $90 or $100. And to get the reverse osmosis into your home, maybe you're going to pay $500 or $600 if you use choice water, because I don't know, everyone else charges $2,000. He's just doesn't charge that much, but you can get in touch with me if you want his information. But anyway, so $500, $600, $700, $800, you're going to have to pay to get that filtration system in your house. So those are really the only downside of reverse osmosis water.
Good stuff. Lisa P, LP Productions, has a question. Is sparkling water a good option, especially if pop was your go-to drink?
I love these questions. These are so good. You guys are really thinking about this and wanting to make a change. That's awesome. So sparkling water is not a good option. Unfortunately, I'm not going to say not at all zero, because I'll tell you where it has its place. But unfortunately, whenever there's carbonation, that process actually leaches calcium from your bones and joints. So yes, you're not getting the corrosive sugar that's inside your pop. And if that's your transition, I wouldn't be doing it all day. Maybe you're going to have that sparkling water once a day for the next week, and then maybe once every other day as you're trying to wean yourself off of it. But really, I mean, as I mentioned, my husband and I don't consume alcohol. So I had taken sparkling water and this mango drink, and I mixed them together. And that was our champagne for one of the evenings that, you know, we were on our anniversary. So is sparkling water, is there a place for it? Sure. If you are trying to have a fun drink once in a while. That's what we do with our family for New Year's Eve. We just make sparkling water with cranberry juice. So maybe I'm boring, but I think it's great and fun and enjoyable. And I don't have a headache in the morning, no hangovers. So that's kind of the place as a treat once in a while. But unfortunately, sparkling water, Perrier, very expensive, not good for you in so many ways. It creates dysbiosis in the stomach gut. So you'll notice yourself burping all the time, but that's not healthy. And then you lose calcium and phosphorus, magnesium from your bones and joints. That's not good.
Okay. I want to talk a little bit about mindful eating. So how does practicing mindful eating contribute to overall health, especially while traveling?
Dr. Vibe, you're
What?
surprising me.
Why? What did I do?
These are, you know, you do ask good questions, but you're doing deep questions. This is awesome. I love it.
Okay.
So, you know, here's the thing is that traveling and vacations should be just so social. Like that's like healthy social atmospheres. But you still, when you're chewing your food, when you're eating your food, be mindful of chewing. Always try to chew till liquid before you swallow. And by doing this, you'll go through your meal a little bit slower. Yes, we'll be having talks, but trying to really listen to your body in the sense of, I'm actually full now. I have trouble with leaving any kind of food on my plate. This is a real issue. I don't want to leave food on my plate. I just don't like that kind of waste. But be mindful of not, like, especially if it's a buffet, start small. You can go up there 5 times if you need to, but don't load it all on. Start with your salad and just have small additions and listen to your body. After you finish that plate, am I still hungry? Am I satisfied? Just take a few minutes before you go for another plate. And then as well, you know, if you're with your group or your family and be like, oh, is everybody hungry? I could eat, but I'm not really hungry. Then don't eat. You know, and I know it may be a convenient time, but maybe you can convince everybody to wait another hour. One of the worst things you could do is put food in your body while food is still digesting. That creates fermentation, gas, bloating, and then the nutrients
I need
don't
to interrupt
digest.
then. So say you have a good meal. How long on average does it take to digest? Because I think it's really important in regards to, so you want to make sure your body's cleaned out before you put more into it. So what's your suggestion?
A healthy meal should take about 5 to 6 hours to digest. If it's 7 hours and you're still not hungry, that means number one, you either ate too much, or number two, you have a major metabolism disorder and a hormone imbalance. And I know Dr. Vibe has put it on there, but you can get a consultation with me for just $49 instead of $110. So let me help you balance your hormones. But if you're hungry within 3 hours, that means that maybe it was just the fruits and nuts that you had in your hotel room. So of course, that's going to digest in 1 or 2 hours. But if you had a full meal and you're hungry in 3 hours, then you're probably not having anywhere close to enough fiber in your diet. Your metabolism's too fast, and I can help slow that down as well. But 5 to 6 hours is how long it should take. So after you eat your meal, wait an hour. Just sip on water, not an almond, not a cherry, nothing. Just water until you feel hungry again. So when you're on vacation and everyone's like, like try to eat just a light breakfast so that you can have dinner at lunchtime. And then in the evening, you have something really light. So you're not like always waking up feeling so full and puffy. I mean, that's a lesson for life, but you could take that on vacation as well.
So Lisa P says, thank you. Really good to know your answer on the water, sparkling water issue. I want to go into another area here, especially when you're going to vacation in warmer climates. Are there particular foods that you would suggest us getting, whether it's either from the resort or from local, that we should be focusing on to keep our nutrition decent during vacation?
Yeah, so that's a good question. You want to look for high water concentrated foods because number one, there's lots of dehydration that goes on of being in the sunshine a lot, and you may be consuming caffeine or alcohol. So you want to lean towards higher concentration water foods that have a high water concentration. So definitely a salad bar. Look for your melons. If they have melons, you can tell kind of the juicier fruits rather than the dry fruits. So you really want to lean towards that. And wherever you see, I mean, I love being in different countries to see what do their green leafy vegetables look like, but try to look towards their like green vegetables, orange vegetables, high in beta carotene, high in your phytonutrients, and very, very, very cleansing. So, I remember being in Mexico and eating cactus. Terrible. It wasn't enjoyable at all, but I'm sure I got lots of good nutrients. So whether you love it or not, it's always good to just try to go towards more green, orange vegetables, and that the foods that have a lot of water content.
Good stuff. For some of us at times, traveling can be stressful. What are some suggested holistic approaches to managing stress while on vacation, just beyond diet and exercise?
Yeah, so what people don't realize is the amount of healing that comes to the mental capacity with oxygen. So that's why I highly, highly recommend you make outdoor walks and activity like a major part of your vacation. So like, especially in the evening, instead of like sitting in a restaurant at night, like I said, try to have a bigger, earlier meal so that in the evening you can walk along the beach. You can go for walks, in the local area. Obviously, you got to keep it to safe, but many times, we're hitting clubs and bars and whatever, which, if that's what makes you happy. But if you're feeling stressed out, nothing heals the way oxygen and just silence does. And I know when we went to Costa Rica, we hit whatever rainforest trails we could. We always hit the hiking trails. It is so incredible to walk into a forest full of oxygen and just deep breathe that in. Like, it is so healing and de-stressing. Go find waterfalls. Go look at the different caves that are around. I mean, these different levels of atmospheric conditions, there's different ions in the air. Do grounding. Take your shoes off, take your sandals off, and just dig your feet inside the sand. Go in the salt water and just lay. Super detoxifying. You know, it doesn't, there's so much hustle and bustle that comes with vacations, but try to plan your trips around being in nature. It's incredibly healing, and trying to be outside, but of course, be mindful of sunscreen or being covered up and not out in the heat of the day. But there's nothing that's as healing as being in nature.
All right. I've shared it in all the comment sections and all the platforms, but I said I'd show it on screen verbally. Here's the contact information for Carolyn. We're not finished yet, family, because I know there's more questions. EnergyShackJuiceBar.com. Email info@EnergyShackJuiceBar.com. Phone number 647-637-6755. And always we get questions, but what happens if I don't live in Canada or the United States? She's global. She does Zoom meetings. I've seen her do them with internationally. Facebook and YouTube, Energy Shack Juice Bar, and Instagram, The Energy Shack Juice Bar. If you have any questions about physical health, email info@EnergyShackJuiceBar.com. And also, as she mentioned earlier, consultation. You can get it for $49, regularly $110. Just email info@EnergyShackJuiceBar and mention Dr. Vibe with the Morning Vibe in your comments. All right, we got more comments. I know there's a question. 2 questions at least. Lisa P. Last 2 questions. Well, you don't have to promise. You can ask as many as you want, Lisa P. This is for all of us. The controversy surrounding spinach. Cook or not to cook? Let's take it one at a time. So what about that? The controversy around spinach, to cook or not to cook?
Yeah, so before I answer that, these are such fantastic questions. And I just want you to know that for those that are listening, of course, please follow Dr. Vibe on Instagram. But on Instagram, we have an amazing, marketing team that they're posting so many, did you know this about health? So definitely follow us, and it's The Energy Shack Juice Bar. Just regular Energy Shack Juice Bar on Instagram is a hacked account, my fault, but The Energy Shack Juice Bar. And that's when you'll learn about our retreats. That's when you're going to, see all these did you know questions, all these tidbits, health tidbits for free. So definitely be following us on our Instagram page or Facebook page, but for sure Instagram, tons of free videos, free information, free nutrition tips. Spinach, to cook or not to cook? That is a great question. So iron doesn't get cooked out when heated. So if you're trying to use spinach to increase your iron levels, you definitely want to cook it. So picture with me, 2 or 3 or 4 heads of spinach. If I'm going to chop that up and put it in my salad, like that's too much. I'd never be able to eat that much, so and it's not fibrous enough, and it doesn't hold enough water. Spinach is, it's so nutrient dense. So spinach in your salad can be part of the salad, but not the main course. But if I took those 4 heads of spinach and I cooked them down into a pot, I could almost eat that in one sitting, but I didn't lose any iron. So if I'm going to put spinach in my salad, I'm not getting very much because I can only go through so much of it raw. But cooked, you get so much. So I recommend spinach cooked. It is high oleic acid. So if you do have arthritis, that's really bad. Spinach, or if you have kidney failure, spinach is high in potassium. Again, you'd have to talk to me personally in a consultation to for me to really say whether spinach is good or bad for you. But cooked, very, very, very high in iron and super good for you.
All right. Lisa P's second question. Seedless fruits. Always been taught if it doesn't have a seed, it has been manipulated. So
I'm sure this is not a news memo to everybody, but almost all our food has been manipulated. That's just the reality. And I would agree that, biblically speaking, if you go back in Genesis, it says fruits have seeds inside themselves. So whenever we say grapes, Even bananas used to have 3 big seeds in them. We don't even realize that. So more of our food has been genetically modified than we realize. So we're seeing watermelon now without seeds. We're seeing oranges coming without seeds. Should we still eat them? Because, they've been modified. The nutrition level is still pretty adequate in these foods. I would say that grapes are super high pesticides. That's my concern about grapes. Not that they don't have seeds, but they're super high pesticides. So foods without seeds in them, yes, I believe it's still okay to eat them. I would prefer them with seeds. I don't really like buying watermelons unless I know that they have seeds in them, to be honest. So some foods genetically modified are worse on the scale than others. So for me in that category, you're probably not going to love that I'm saying this, but bananas have been very genetically modified and people don't realize how modified they are, that I kind of stay away from them. Not fully, but it's very rare that I have them. Other things that I don't, wheat, soy, very genetically modified. Corn, like modified to the point that it's causing issues. Oranges, grapes, I don't feel in my system that causes issues. And biologically speaking, and if you get to the biology of each of these foods, their nutrition level has not dropped drastically through this genetic modification. So that's where I'm at with that. But almost everything has been genetically modified. I mean, look at our cucumbers, look at our peppers, look at everything. It's been genetically modified. But
Okay.
yeah.
That brings it up to a question I have for you personally here. Peppers, red peppers, good for you?
So again, if you have arthritic conditions, or if you have like a lot of inflammation in your stomach gut, it's part of the nightshade family. So it's super high in vitamin C. So great for the average person, but not somebody who has a lot of inflammation. Same with tomatoes, eggplant, and white potatoes.
And I love my tomatoes in my salad.
But you're okay if you don't have a lot of body pain.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, so there's nothing wrong with that. I love my tomatoes in my salad. When I broke my neck and I like had lots of inflammation in my neck, a tomato was creating pain in my neck. I eat tomatoes now because I don't have any pain in my neck anymore.
Black pepper.
Black pepper is a stomach irritant. If you want to use pepper, use cayenne pepper.
Thank you. Got it. Wayne Harris has a question. Oils, which ones to avoid?
So let's just talk about the oils that are good for you. So olive oil is great. Coconut oil in moderation is fine. And I would say also avocado oil is not terrible, but your regular oils, canola oil is dangerous. Sunflower oil, vegetable oil, all of these oils are really, really, really bad for you. They're rancid, they're heavily processed, and they cause a lot of inflammation.
Okay. Well, you've made me my one of my number one go-tos. You taught me the vinaigrette dressing.
Without any vinegar.
Yeah.
Lemon and olive oil.
Lemon, olive oil, and a bit of sugar. That is my family go-to.
And let's make sure we understand that. By sugar, it would be maple syrup or honey, not refined sugar.
Right. That's the thing. But yeah, I don't eat a salad when I'm at home. Like people say, "Oh, what do you put on your salad?" I say this. They go, "Really?"
Mm-hmm.
I go, "Yeah," because it's good. Again, manjif, and it's so easy to make. Family.
Yes. 2
tablespoons of olive oil, a 1/4 cup of lemon juice, a little bit of sugar. You can actually put it in a cup and stir it. You don't have to use a blender. Like, I mean,
that is flexible. You could add a clove of garlic in there. You could throw cilantro, basil. You could add some mustard powder in there. I mean,
now you're making me go, okay, we got that going on. Opal Inspires a question. Hi, Carolyn. How about grapeseed oil?
Yes, that's a fine oil.
Okay. Got the approval. All right. Let's ask about So we talked about hydration. Okay, so let's talk about post-vacation transition. So when you come back from your vacation,
Good point.
how can individuals transition back into their regular eating habits and exercise routines?
You know what? That is such a good question. This is what I recommend. I recommend that before you go, put some good, healthy meals in your freezer. Make sure that you have some fresh fruits on hand that you know is not going to go bad in a week, like apples and oranges. You know, your pineapple, if it's ripened, just put it in the fridge. So pears are great because those will keep for weeks. So make sure your fridge has some essentials so you're not coming back to an empty fridge, and you have like a few cooked healthy meals already in your freezer. So, and when you're, days before you're coming back, so say you're getting back on the Sunday, make the plan. The brain is a powerful thing. Make the plan. On Wednesday, I'm hitting the gym. I'm going to hit the gym Wednesday and Friday. I mean, be easy with yourself with the transition, but make the plan already. You know what you're eating, and you're saying, okay, when I'm getting back Sunday, so Monday evening, I'm going to the grocery store to get all my lettuce and my supplies. But before you left, you made your lemon vinaigrette salad dressing. It's already in your fridge. It keeps for 30 days. So be prepared. So when you come back, you're not completely off. And now you're having takeout food because, you need a vacation from your vacation to get yourself ready. Plan before, stock your fridge with what you can, stock your freezer with what you can, and just be ready. So when you get back, you're hitting the ground running. It's just like there's nothing, there's no interruption. Maybe you need a day to unpack. And I'm going to tell you something, friends. When you get back, unpack immediately. Put laundry in the laundry, put your clothes away. Don't have your suitcases standing around because that's going to stress you out. Like, I have so much to do before I could even think of anything else. So, simple things like that can really help a lot just to get back in the swing of things. And before you get home, plan the whole week of when you're hitting the gym, what you're having for dinners. Planning is so key.
A few more conversations before you have to travel back to Toronto.
Yes.
How can the habits and insights gained during vacation be sustained for long-term health and wellness?
Say that again.
How can the habits and insights gained during vacation be sustained for long-term health and wellness?
Yeah. So, it's really, it's really important that vacation is an extension of your real life. Okay. So when you here in my real life, I'm plant-based. I don't change that when I go on vacation. Here in my real life, I'm eating a salad before every meal. Don't change that when you go on vacation. So if you could form healthy habits here, take those habits with you on vacation. And when you are on vacation and you're like going for walks every day and you're hitting the gym at the resort, doesn't it feel good? So make sure when you come back, you're figuring out, you know what? I'm going to keep doing my walks every day. If you're not going to get a gym membership, pick up some resistance bands so that you can do some exercise at home every day. So, trying to do that when you're on vacation, try to carve out the evening so you're not up till 1 o'clock every morning, and you can go to bed a little earlier on vacation, and try to transpose that when you get home as well. These are important. Getting sunshine. You're on vacation, got all that vitamin D. Take time to go for walks and get sunshine when you get home. But we have to be intentional about these things. They're not going to happen. And no one's going to pull us out of the house to make us do these things. So your health is up to you. You have to make these choices that whether you're on vacation or you're home, health is still your priority.
All right, family. Was that amazing? Well, Carolyn Rothaus, and she wasn't being chauffeured this time. She wasn't being chauffeured, but great amount of information. Thank you, everyone, for catching the conversation live or on the replay. Share it out. Tell people about this. Please and thank you. So a few other things as we get it all wrapped up today. So subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube. Hit the notification button. Also, like the Dr. Vibe Show on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. If you want to advertise your business, product, or service on our platform, email me, dr.vibe@thedrvibeshow.com. Also, join the Morning Vibe Discord group. Please feel free to email me at dr.vibe@thedr.com. You can catch replays of an edited version of this show on indiesuitmedia.tv. And you see along the bottom the ways you can catch replays. You can catch replays on the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and Facebook, and also the Afro-Caribbean Business Network on Facebook and YouTube, and Ryan O'Neal Knight, YouTube and LinkedIn. Speaking of Ryan, that's how you can get a hold of him. RyanO'NealKnight.com, LinkedIn, Ryan O'Neal Knight, Instagram at Ryan.Knight99, email workwithme, RyanO'NealKnight.com, website for me, the drvibeshow.com, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn, the drvibeshow.com, dr.vibeshow.com, Instagram at the drvibeshow, X/Twitter at drvibeshow, and then finally email address dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com. So, as always, we finish up with this. Live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get smaller, get stronger. Block assumptions and aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. Love, faith, and respect. And don't just manage your time, manage your energy. And remember to give yourselves grace. This Friday, we're celebrating Father's Day, which is coming up this Sunday. And we have a gentleman, Paul Osborne. He was on before with his wife talking about marriage and relationships, especially Black marriages and relationships. And let me get this collar. It's not looking great. I don't know. Don't mind. And he's going to be holding an event this Friday evening in the Greater Toronto area celebrating Black fatherhood. So he's going to be on the show this Friday. So, as always, live your life as a dream. And God bless. Peace be well. Keep the faith, walk good. And thanks for watching live on the replay. Share it out. Like, save, share it out. Be well.